what's up, guys? Welcome back to the studios. Lock here. If you're new, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get into locking down some content. We're back today. We're going to talk about variant and presidential Loki uniforms. So let's go ahead and jump into it. But remember, as always, guys, I do have 6% Pierce and more on the way. So what I can do versus what you can do will vary accordingly, whether you have 2% Pierce, 4% Pierce, 6, 8, 10, 25, or none at all. So keep that in mind when gauging what stages and content that I'm able to clear with a character versus what you can do. Having said that, let's go ahead and check out his build. Basic Uru, rare grade, attack and HP. We have all skills done except for skills 1 and 2, which are at level 3, and of course he is not tier 3. Type 1 rank enhancement. We have an incomplete ISO 8 set, Hawk's Eye, which I will be changing to a Power of Angry Hulk. We have a bottom of the barrel extreme obelisk, guard break immunity, with the lowest proc possible for this grade of obelisk at 120. We have a heroic grade uniform with energy attack and useless skill cooldown due to my skill cooldown being overcapped by 14%, doing me no good. At tier 2 level 60 with 25k HP and 20k energy attack. Total incomplete build. He's a total mess, and we're going to check out what he can do. Now, I've seen some varying rotations for him, really revolving around the 3 cancel 5 cancel 4. Again, I'm not going to try to bash anybody. You know, everybody has their opinion or their ideals or what they believe, and that's fine. But in my opinion, I feel that rotation is absolutely wrong. And the reason I say that is because of the 5 skill. I've noticed that with a lot of people talking about his rotation, they're ignoring the fact that he has an increased damage by 50% for 2 attacks for 10 seconds that can be moved onto other skills. Okay, his regular rotation is basically what they're saying is basically 3 cancel 5 cancel 4. Okay, well, when doing that, you're only using 1 skill after this skill. 1 skill, so you're not benefiting that extra 50% damage on another skill, right? So why would you do that? In my opinion, 5 cancel 3 cancel 4 pushes the 2 damage procs into the 3 and into the 4, because the 3 actually has some really good damage, believe it or not. Increased by 50% is going to do even more. I'm definitely not going to use it on the 2. That's dumb. So in my opinion, the correct rotation for him is going to be 5 cancel 3 cancel 4, then the 2 to help charge your tier 3, of course. And then when your tier 3 rotation comes around, then you're going to switch it to the 3 cancel 5 cancel tier 3 cancel 4 to push those 2 damage procs into the tier 3 and into the 4 to get your maximum output. To give you a little visual on what I mean here, you'll notice up here at the top there will be a 50% for 2 attacks icon that shows up, which is right here. Increased damage by 50% for 2 attacks, lasts for 10 seconds. Okay, so as you can see, we've pushed it into these other 2 skills, giving him damage. Now, doing the opposite rotation, 3 5 6 4 for the tier 3, will push that into the tier 3 and the 4 skill, like so. And as you can see, it's still there. Our tier 3 is going off, and we still have a good 5 seconds left of it. And there you have it. The tier 3 gets bumped by 50% plus whatever buffs it comes with, as well as pushing that proc onto the 4 as well. Okay. Having said that, let's go ahead and jump into some World Boss, and we're going to check out the variant suit first, and then we will check out the presidential, and I'll give you the pros and cons of both, what's good, what's bad, what I feel that they're more used for or better suited for specific content over the others, and take it from there. We're going to use a free-to-play team. I try to do that most times. So we're going to use Hela for the team up and the leadership, as well as Shuri for the extra damage reduction and the 45% increased attack. We're going to use strikers for this. He is only tier 2, level 60 with a totally incomplete garbage build. But we're going to check out what he can do here. Now I will say his damage for his build is quite nice. Quite nice. As you can see, he's got some really good damage. We're going to cruise through the stage here. There's our proc. Look at that damage. And keep in mind, this is an incomplete build. He don't even have an actual ISO 8 set. And he's cruising through this quite nicely, I must say. We're going to completely ignore that, and we're just going to push out that damage. The explosions from the 3 are actually hit pretty hard. I will say that much. They hit pretty hard, which is why I was saying about the damage proc from the 5 going into the 3 and the 4 makes a big difference, because they do hit quite hard. And missing out on that extra damage is kind of a loss, in my opinion. Now, I don't have him tier 3, so, you know, that might change. Having him tier 3 and seeing his ability, you know, and proc timings, considering the tier 3. But even so, without even using the tier 3, you know, doing this on a regular rotation is still going to be more optimal for your damage, because we're coming up onto just about 2 minutes here, and we're almost into his shield phase. I call it the shield phase. It's that big phase where he kind of does that explosion, and I call it his shield phase. So we're probably going to nail that here at the 2 minute mark, give or take. Yep, there we go. Had to wait it, kind of delayed a second, but now we're at his shield phase at the 2 minute mark. So we got 3 minutes left in the fight. I will say he is definitely on time to finishing this. I stepped in the puddles to get Enchantress to go out there and charm him to kind of ignore his shield and explosion, which tends to work quite nicely. And as you can see, even with this incomplete build, he's just kind of cruising the stage, which is very nice considering. But I just keep popping that 5-3-4, 5-3-4. With our little bitty old 120 proc. He's getting it done. I guess I completely missed the 5 on that one. That was my bad. There we go. Now I will say, President Loki over this one has a little bit easier of a time completing the stage. And I'll go over why when we do him here in just a minute. But it has a lot to do with his control effects. I will say that much. His control effects are quite nasty. And I have a feeling it's going to be quite annoying in Alliance Conquest, to be fair. Because he's going to be like Scarlet Witch's old uniform on steroids. Really and truly. Because he's just going to be locking up teams left and right, and it's almost going to be stupid. And we will probably be finishing this right at the last minute here. Well, maybe not. We might clear it with a good He's gonna rush us, and we're gonna just bust into the rotation just like that. And somehow the 5 got skipped. Get out of that. And down to the wire. We made a few mistakes there at the end, but that's okay. Cost us probably a good 10 seconds or so, but considering his build, free-to-play team, he's still clearing this. Okay? That's outstanding. That is outstanding. Okay? So let's go ahead and check out his presidential uniform here. Throw that on, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the run. We're going to use the same team up, same strikers, all that good stuff, and I'll explain, and you'll see why this particular uniform is going to be better for like World Boss Legend, World Boss Ultimate, and AC. It's almost nasty how much control he has of the field. It's insane. And well, that also depends on how well the AI decides to play Loki. But same rotation, 5-3-4. As soon as the 2 drops, as soon as the 4 finishes, I use the 2, and that reinitiates a second control. Look at that damage. Now, even if you overproc, that's okay, because he's controlled, and it's not going to matter because you're going to bust right into your proc again. And then I tend to just cut it early, a little bit early, to keep my proc rolling. So I'll cut the 4 a little bit early due to the hits on the 2, so I don't re-trigger my proc, as you can see here. So I do sacrifice a little bit of damage, but what I gain in return is no issues keeping Cole stuck. It's almost stupid. Like, and then the damage stays consistent. Like, the damage really stays consistent. And to be honest, I feel like it's more than the variant. And you know, my procs are on time every time, no issues. And the point I cancel is right before he does the last hit on the 4, and you'll see it right here. And my proc stays like right on time, right before he does that very last hit is when you want to cancel the 4 and go into the 2. And look at that damage. Was kind of late on the proc there. There we go. We're back on time. Now keep in mind the time in which we're clearing this. Right? We completely skipped the shield phase entirely. Now and remember, the variant uniform, we would have cleared it about 12 seconds, 18 seconds, something like that, left remaining. Well, he bounced into his shield phase at 4 bars. But what we're going to do is we're going to do this because control effects. We don't even have to worry about what he's doing, because we're just going to keep him controlled the entire time. There's our proc. Staying with the 5-3-4, pushing that extra damage into the 3 and the 4. There's our proc. Proc. Huge difference. Huge difference. Proc. We're going to finish this an entire minute over the other uniform. And we changed nothing. Used the same rotation. Think about that. And remember, incomplete build. And we finished this with an entire minute and something left on the clock. A minute and 18, a minute and 16 seconds. With an incomplete build. No ISO 8 set. Basic 120 proc. Basic Uru. A useless bum uniform option. Think about that. Okay, think about that. That's amazing. That is outstanding. Now, yeah, you can, there's content creators out there who have, mega whaled accounts, which is fine, and they'll show you, what the character can do at, end game maximum build. You have higher tier content creators that can show you what they can do, maybe not at mega whaled, showcase, but higher grade showcase, and that's great as well, because, that gives you, okay, well, if you're a mega whale, you'll be able to do this. If you're a regular average spender or medium whale, he'll be able to do this. Me, I'm down here bottom of the barrel in it, right? And that's what I like to do for you guys. I'm trying to do bottom of the barrel content for you guys. What can I expect from these characters with just basic amounts of pierce, with half decent cards and incomplete builds? I mean, duh. Look at that. I mean, it speaks for itself. But the reason why Presidential Loki here, and I'm voting for him for president just because of what he just did. The reason he can do that is because that 2 skill has a 3-second mind control and increases the damage received by enemies. I probably should upgrade this one. At max, it'll go up to 10%. So he's not only going to increase his damage further, because remember, we're using that 5 for that double damage proc, which is also coming with some all evens down, which is minute for the amount. But that 3 is also, or the 2 is also increasing the damage received by 7% when you use this attack. Okay? So when you 5, 3, 4, you're amping the damage on all these, on the 3 and the 4. But when you back it up to control the bosses with the 2, it's not just regular damage like on the variant version. You're getting an amped 10% damage that your enemies are taking while being stuck. But then the 5 also has, not the 5, it's the 4. The 4 as well, which is the last skill you use in rotation, has a mind control as well, keeping the boss stuck. 2 mind controls. Think about that. You guys remember this uniform. Right? That 4, mind control for 5 seconds, decreases damage received by 6% for 5 seconds. Guess what, baby? Loki just got Scarlet Witch's old 4 skill. And instead of it being on the 4, that bad boy's on the 2. That bad boy is on the 2 skill. Not as long a duration, but it's actually longer, because that bad boy's over here again for 3 seconds. Scarlet Witch old uniform is 5 seconds total. This one's getting 6. And then if you have this, where is it here? I don't think it's on this screen. Let's go back to our cards here and view our card effects. this, that here, this crowd control time. That crowd control time affects things like that because that's considered a crowd control. Time freezing, mind control, charm, fear. Those are all crowd controls. Mine is increased by 22% because of card collections and my cards in general. So 6 seconds plus 22%, that's going to round out to 0.02 times 6. Comes out to almost an extra second. Well, close to it, about 0.40 of a second. But it makes a huge difference. Because that 0.40 gives my timer enough extra oomph to go into the next rotation without ever having to worry about control effects. And you don't even need that much crowd control time for it to affect that. Scarlet Witch had that back in the day, right? Now Loki's got it. World Boss Ultimate. Not going to work great for World Boss Legend, but his damage is way higher in this uniform than it is with the other one. Even in World Boss Ultimate. Makes a huge difference. Right? And in AC, one of my favorite teams to use would be a full control team like Scarlet Witch, Professor X, and Dr. Voodoo or something. Total mind control, total status lockdown. That way, if characters were using debuff removals and such, there'd be some different characters dropping these mind controls and charms and such to keep them locked down, even though that they're using these debuff immunities, keeping them from being able to do stuff. This man's going to do that, and those teams were usually always winners, always. So I think he's going to be dangerous in AC, guys. Really, this president, especially this president uniform, having more damage than it has over the variant, having the control effects just to lock down bosses like that. And if you're a newer player who hasn't quite built a roster up just yet, I would definitely pick up this uniform. Even if you can only get one, I would definitely get the presidential one, because he's going to help you clear Cole so much easier being able to lock him down like that. And obviously you can see my build, right? I mean, even considering my Pierce and such, if I go back and say some of you guys are like just super new players and you're on stage, say 25 or so, whatever, and we use this same team, there's going to be a drastic difference in what he can do, right? So if I'm doing stage 25, 6% Pierce, this is going to be like stage 10 for you guys, or maybe stage 15, somewhere around there. That it's going to look like this for your stage. I mean, look at this. And then, all while doing so is total lockdown. Like straight total lockdown. We overprocced there. That's okay. But we're going to end... Well, I thought we were going to end the fight there. He said, nope, phase change. We're going to end it right here. Well, maybe not. Try that one more again. There we go. Game over. Less than a minute. So if you're doing stage 25 right now, I'll bump it up to 35. Well, we'll do stage 40. We'll give a 15 stage benefit of the doubt for 6% Pierce. This is what your stage 25 would look like with 0 Pierce. Give or take. Obviously. Crafted stats, etc. But remember, garbage, incomplete build. And he's still garbage, incomplete build. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Tornado got us there. This would be your stage 25 with no Pierce, right? No shield phase, just straight control, cruising through. And this should be it right here. A minute and 19 seconds, guys. Minute and 19 seconds. With an incomplete trash garbage build, no CTP, 120 proc, bottom of the barrel Loki. That's ridiculous. So my opinion, definite uniform worth picking up. If you can't get both, at least get President. He's gonna be for your AC. He's gonna be for your World Boss Legend. He's gonna be for your World Boss Ultimates. He's gonna be your, in general, all around content uniform. Now I will say the variant uniform. I would pick the variant uniform over the presidential uniform if you're more into ABX. For ABX, he's a monster. I got some guys that I've been talking to about him in this uniform, and some of these guys are hitting 11 mil, 11.2 mil, 11.4 mil. Some are even hitting the 12 mil cap. It's ridiculously stupid. How crazy strong that this particular uniform is for ABX. Basically blowing Suggy out of the water. So if you're more into ABX, pick this one up over the other one. But in all honesty, I would go ahead and get both, just because I like to have that versatility, you know. On top of that, having both does give you this bonus percent over here to the uniform versus most other uniforms, right? But that's my take on Loki, the variant, as well as the presidential version. Vote Loki for president. This is Locke signing out. Have a good one.